guys today? Happy Wednesday. Just trying to get my camera good. All right, I think we're good now. So, welcome in. I'm Pimmy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to have you guys today. All right, so today we're going to be doing this new amazing book that I just got from Amazon. They just released this, guys. Like, if you haven't gotten your hands on this, I would highly recommend to go on Amazon. I did link my affiliate link, so you are able to basically go in and purchase it directly from Amazon. If you go on my affiliate link, I do earn a small commission at no additional cost to you. As for all of the items that I have tagged in the ideas list, so just keep that in mind. But I love Bobbie Goods. I did a live stream yesterday of Bobbie Goods, like their main book. But this is one of their books. They just released it. If you know Bobbie Goods, you know that they really don't have a lot of their stuff on Amazon. So whenever they release something, it's super exciting because you know Amazon delivers really fast. Um, but if you do want to get one of their real books, you can definitely go on their website to get like their bigger books. But I love this. It's super cute. Look at how like bright and beautiful it is. It's so in line with the season with summertime, and I'm so excited to dive in. This one does basically have like a how to color side on this side, so you can go through and you can see just like different things, how to color them, which is so cute. This is perfect for like kids. You can do it as an adult as well. I love to do this. But if you have kids, they're going to love following this side. Whenever I get Bobbie books like this that look like this, I normally get them for this side. So this is a side that they have their cute little illustrations, and then after each page, they basically have a sheet that's blank that you can go in and just like be creative. You can take what you learned from this side and basically apply it to this side, which is so fun. But I'm super excited. Excuse me. So let's dive right in. Before I start, I feel like I'm going to do this every time I start my live stream. So this is basically me cutting out the paper. I don't like to use the plastic sheets that come with the markers because they're never big enough. So yesterday and the day before, I told you guys how I basically cut my sheets. So we're going to do another one today. This is my watercolor book. I also have it linked in my like ideas list, so you guys can go in and purchase this. It is a little, I'm not gonna say it's pricey because it's affordable and it's worth it, but you get 30 sheets with this one. And basically what I do, especially if it's like a bigger coloring book, that's a little loud, sorry. But I basically rip out the sheet and I'll measure the book. So I'll go in, I'll line up the book with it. I'll grab my pencil and I'll basically line it. And then I'll take my sheet and I will put it into this cutter here. And this cutter is super affordable. I swear by it. Everyone that knows me knows that I love this because I literally use it so often. And you can basically line it. You have some lines here, a guide that you can follow, and it makes cutting paper so easy. Just like that. So simple. If you guys are here, you're not following my channel, please follow, please like, please subscribe. I appreciate any of my newcomer coloring besties that join my channel. I do post content regularly, and I am trying to get my subscribers up for you, so that I can be able to do this with you guys more often. So, all right, let's cut this side. So I basically just line it up. And I cut. And for this one, we're actually not going to leave the sheet in the book because these sheets are removable. Like from this book, I'll show you guys in just a moment. But it's nice because you can basically rip them out and color on a different surface so that you're not like bleeding through to the next page. Even though the next page is a blank page, you still want to keep that clean because if you wanted to draw on it, it has a cute little design there at the bottom. So today we're going to be doing, and I'll actually show you guys what you get. So this is the first page, super, super cute. This is the page that mimics the front cover. So, so cute. You can do so much with it, guys. That's the second one. Third one. So, so cute. I'm an artist, so I love to like design. I love just like illustrating. And their designs are so cute because even though you have a lot going on, they still give you like room to be creative, room to do your own thing. And then we also have the quality sheet. So absolutely love them. This is the one we're going to be doing today. And I believe that's the last one. Let me see. Yep, that's the last one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to rip it out. And I think they're going to, yeah, they're going to make it really easy for us to just rip it out and color with it. I am going to be using my sheet that I cut out just so that it protects my table because I don't want alcohol marker ink all over my table because that will get messy over time. But guys, look at how cute this sheet is. It's so satisfying just looking at Bobbie Good's like just like illustrations and art. I love it so much. So, all right, let's jump right in. I picked out a few markers. I may have to pick out a few more from like my little stack that I have going on here. But today we're of course we're going to be working with a hoo-hoo. I did link their website, so you can get them through their website. I would recommend getting them through their website because they have a lot more options on their website and they do have fast shipping as well. Now, I also have it linked in my description in my ideas list for Amazon. So either or, I would recommend the website because you have a lot more options, especially when you're looking for specific markers, especially when you're looking for refills. Refills are really important because if you use a lot of one marker, like for example, I use a lot of this yellow, I can go on the website and see, to get a refill if it ends up drying out or if I end up using it all the way. So it's really nice and a hoo has a lot more like fun just material that you can use for your daily art. So let's jump right in. We're going to start with our sun. I like to start with like big areas. I feel like I guess the trees could be a big area, but I don't know. I just start with the sky most of the time when I'm going into a piece. So I'm going to start with the darkest yellow. So I'm going to do this one, the Y111. And I'm going to start it in the middle and I'm going to work my way out. I'm going to work my way out with Y26. And I'm also going to use like an alcohol blender to make it blend well. So just so you guys know, it's a very basic technique, but let's jump right in. And I'm using the brush tip, just so you guys know. I definitely need to get another one of this number because I use it so often. Ooh. And just working my way in to basically blend them together. As they dry, they're going to look a lot better together, but that's where I'm going to leave the sun for now. And next, we're going to start working on the sky in general. Um, you know what? I might actually do the clouds first. So let's start off with the clouds. I'm gonna go in with an RV, let's see, RV25. So that's what I'm gonna start the sky out. And I'm going to start with basically just like lining the bottom of the clouds first. And I'm going to work my way up with a blender. and just blending, blending, blending because I basically want it to bleed into the cloud. And then I'm going to basically go back in and outline it with this again. And we're going to do that probably like 3 times until we get some motion going in this cloud. I'm also going to do like a little line on the inside here. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow it to dry. We'll come back at the end and just like line it once it's dried so that we have like a little bit of a darker outline of the cloud. And I'm basically going to do the same thing to the other clouds. All right, I think that's, well, actually, we have another cloud over here. So let's make sure to not forget that one. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to, like I said, allow those to dry. Let's start working on the sky going up. So I'm going to start with like a very light, well, I'm going to say like a banana cream yellow. And what we're going to do is we're basically, like I said, going to work our way up. Um, actually, I think that it'll probably bleed into my clouds. So scratch that. Excuse me, let's work on something else. Let's work on just getting some green down for the mountains as well as the ground down here. So like the grass. I think that I'm going to just do everything green and then I'll like build and do like grass and stuff like that later on. But I mean like I'm going to leave like the mountains green as well as the grass. So let's start out with, let's see what colors we have. 49, 110. All right, let's start out with 49. So that will be our base. So whenever you're doing anything, if you color and if you do this often, you know that you should start with like the lightest color. So let's just lay down this green and we'll go from there. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will try to address them as they come. I'm trying to keep an eye on my second phone. When you're live streaming, you sort of have to multitask. But I am almost 100% sure that most of you guys are going to see this after the fact. So even if you leave me a comment later on, if you're not on live, that is perfectly fine because I love to interact with my community, whether it's live or just like a video that I've posted. So, all right, so we did the mountains. Now we're going to work our way down and do all of the grass down here. I definitely need to, well, there's still a little bit of juice in this marker, but I definitely need to go onto a Hoo-Hoo's website and get like a refill for this one. It's about that time. And guys, you don't have to press hard. I just like to go over it. So like if you press hard, you're going to have a marker that ends up looking just like really bad. And it could be after a few coloring pages. So you don't want that. I mean, you can flip the marker like the tip over, but you don't want to have to do that if you don't need to. So you want to save it, you know? These markers are not cheap, so you want them to last for as long as possible. Just taking my blender and it bled a little bit into this character here, so I'm just trying to blend it out, and same for this one on the head. And using your blender marker, it almost works as like a somewhat of an eraser in a way. You just got to make sure that it dries. And just like I've learned that whenever you go over, like I just mentioned, if you go over it like 2, 3 times, you avoid having like those streaks, because if you just do it once and it dries, you're going to have streaks because you're not giving that section enough ink. I mean, if you're trying to do it on purpose, then that's fine. Like for example, if you're doing like wood or different things like that and you're trying to follow like a specific style, you can definitely use that method to get what, to get to the point that you want. But it just really depends on like once again what you're doing. I want to make sure I'm coloring the right area. Doo -doo -doo. I think this is grass right here. Yeah, let's do that. They would be cutting the grass outside of my house right now. Hopefully my music helps. Right now we're just getting through the grass, guys. It's like the beginning of the drawing is always like I feel like it just goes by really slow because you're just trying to get the colors into the areas. And it's nice because you can see like the illustration basically develop, but it's like when you have to be the most careful because I'm already getting some bleed here. But the sun sort of dried up nicely. I like the way it dried up. Just trying to get the grounds down. Happy Wednesday, guys. We're almost there. It's almost Friday. We're halfway through the week. Hey, Mackenzie. How are you? Welcome in. We're gonna have some overlapping here, but hopefully after everything dries, well, I'm sure that after everything on this side dries, I'll be able to layer it and we won't see those streaks later on. But if you're doing large areas, it's inevitable that you're going to have streaks just because we're human and we can't move fast enough to cover all the areas before the marker dries. And then some people just go over them again and again and again. I'm just grateful that this is grass and we're going to have to go over it with a darker marker anyway. Well, I am. Not sure what you're doing, but guys, this book is brand new. They literally just dropped it yesterday. It was on pre-release for like over a month. I was waiting on it and it's finally here. So I'm super excited about it. If you go on my in my description, you'll see my ideas board and you'll be able to order yours. I love Bobbie Goods. So if you weren't here earlier, if you're just jumping in, you're halfway through the video, or not really halfway, an eighth into the video, um, you'll know that I have everything pinned. I love Bobbie Goods. This is one of their only like bigger books that they sell on Amazon. Everything else is directly through their website, so just keep that in mind. But all right, what are we going to do next? Let's work on the sky. So let's start with our lighter. It's going to be the Y07, and we're going to work our way up. So we're going to start from the bottom, and let's leave this area. We'll come back to that area in a little bit, but we're going to do a small section here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to work our way up. So let's move into a slightly darker yellow, which is going to be for this one, Y26. And actually, before we do that, I'm going to take my blender and I'm going to just lay a layer of the blender ink. Basically going in circles, and then I'm going to lay the next layer. Like I said, this one's going to be slightly darker. We're going to bring it up a little bit. I'm going to go back into the lighter yellow. I'm going to layer it, basically like overlapping it a little bit. Next, we're going to use our blender, lay it over this yellow, and we're going to start easing it into like a light pink color. So I'm gonna see which pink I'm gonna do. I'm going to do one of these two. So probably, let's see. Gotta check our sheets, guys, because we don't want to do something that we'll regret later. So I think I'm gonna do the YR33 with the brush. I'm going to go in with my Y07 and just line the sun again. Like a circular motion. All right, next we're going to use our blender. Going to give ourselves that line. Bring it up a little bit. And we are going to move into our next pink, which is going to be the RV25. That was not supposed to be the color that I used, guys. Oh, I hate when that happens. It's okay, because I guess it works with the clouds. It is what it is. Mistakes happen. To go over it with my blender. Blend that out because we got some into the sun. We're gonna have to work on this sun because it's not working out right now. It's not moving how I want it to move. All right, just going over this pink color that's really dark. So I'm trying to blend it to basically soften up the color. It's working. It's not looking too bad. But next we're going to start moving into making the sky purple. So we're going to go in with not that. We're going to check our markers. So R54, just continuing to work up. Just give it like some motion by doing like circles so it's not just like a line. And then the top color I'm going to do is, well, first I'm going to blend it. I always forget about the blender. Soften it up a little bit. Going to go in with V14. I really wish I hadn't gone in with this pink, but let's see if I can lay this R22 down and help it out a little bit. Basically working my way up. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to do this side. So we're going to start out with our lightest marker, which is going to be, I believe it's the banana cream. Right, we're going to use our blender, blend up. We're going to go in with our second lightest color, which is Y26. Right, and that's good for now. Next, we're going to, that's a little annoying. That bleeding into the cloud. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm impatient, I'm going to take my not alcohol, my acrylic marker, which is going to be the RV38. It's a pink. What I like to do whenever I'm actually going in, like right before I go in, I like to test it because it's like life happens and you want to make sure that you have the right color. So that's what it looks like. And I'm just going to line the bottom, the edges of it. I'm gonna have to use a black marker to fix that later on. Guys, I don't have a steady hand. If you have a steady hand, you are blessed, but I always have to correct because I always bleed into lines. I always mess up when I'm trying to do a straight line. But anyways, that was the Ahuhu RV38. You can get this directly on the Ahuhu website. They have good deals on there, or you can go through my Amazon storefront. I do recommend the Ahuhu website. I do also have an affiliate link through that, through the description, so definitely check that out. But next, I'm going to fix my lines. There I go again. I literally have to go in probably like 3 or 4 times until I correct and until I do what I feel needs to be done to correct this. Because see, now I went over it too much. So bear with me, guys. Should probably wait until it dries a little bit, but it's not looking too bad. All right. What's the last book that you guys have colored? If you're watching right now, please leave me a nice little comment. Let me know what you've been coloring. Today I just ordered a new book. I actually followed her. I don't follow a lot of like illustration book artists because I feel like I just get tempted to buy their their new coloring books, but I stumbled into this artist. It is like the cutest. Let me see if I can look it up. Um, She has a lot of books. It's the Mini Mania. Have you guys heard of that? Mini Mania. She has a lot of books, like a lot of coloring books, and they're super cute. And I feel like I saw the Mini Mania like a few weeks ago, and I was like, those look a little odd. But then I saw someone, there I go, messing up again. But then I saw someone actually drawing in like one of her books, and I was like, this is actually cute. You don't really know until you actually see someone bring a piece to life. And I saw so much potential with her books, and I'm like, she actually draws her stuff by hand. It's like sometimes nowadays you have to really check to see if this is going like the book is made by AI or not. And I appreciate like even if you use AI, but then you go in and you go into like Procreate or an editing program and you actually fix it so that the lines look clear, clean, then it's fine if you have good illustrations. But if you just take it from AI and you sell it, then that's a no. That's a no for me. And I saw that her work was so nice. It was definitely not like AI at all. So that definitely stood out to me. Ooh, I actually like this. I'll let you guys know what this is in just a moment. Should have probably done a slightly darker yellow for the acrylic marker, but it's not too bad. All right, so that is the acrylic marker. This is going to be the Y71. So yeah, I don't have the Y71 marker. It's nice because with these acrylic markers, you can actually get the acrylic marker that's the same color as your alcohol marker. So whenever you're working, it's nice because you can sort of match them. That's if you have like the big marker set. I do not. So I just have a few different packs. Like I have a 48 pack. I have the pastels pack. Once again, they're all linked in my description. So you can get your markers. You can go to the Yahoo website. The Yahoo website is also really just convenient because you can, like I always say, get your refills from their website. So I appreciate them for that. We're sort of freestyling the sun right now, guys. Because I hate bleed and I always correct when it comes to bleed. I use my alcohol markers, not my alcohol, my acrylic markers to correct by any means because I do not like the bleed at all. So, all right, so we finished that. Let's move into doing the tree. So let's start putting some green into the tree. We can start with our lighter color. So we can start with the same green that we did the ground with. I believe it was, let's see, 49. Yeah. I might actually need to line. You see that bleed there? We might need to line that later on. We'll figure it out. You know what? I'm going to use a chisel. I really, you know what? I'm going to do that today. I'm going to need to get some juice for this marker. This is my G49. I feel like always use this as a base layer for like my grass, my trees, and then I work, around it. But it's definitely something that I use often. So it's nice because I can just buy the refills. I don't think I've used CaliArt. CaliArt's another set that I love and I feel like is pretty similar to a Hoo, but I don't know if they have their refills. I'll need to check their website. But I definitely use a Hoo a lot more than CaliArt just because they just have more variety. Like sometimes when it comes to like skin tones or just like pastel colors, I feel like CaliArt doesn't have a lot of options. But here is my tree. Guys, we're getting there. Let's do the bushes next. Something I will say is that with these books that are sold on Amazon, I feel like the ink doesn't bleed the same way as the books that are sold through the Bobbie Goods website. Because guys, yesterday I did my first Bobbie Goods page. Well, actually my second, but it really made a huge difference because like compared to the first page that I did because I was doing the 2 marker challenge. And I noticed a lot of bleeding whenever you would go over their lines, you would have bleeding into like your actual drawing. I was like, what the heck? What is going on here? Because these books are expensive. They have really expensive sheets. I'm not talking about this one specifically, but like they're big books. They have really expensive sheets. So why are you not getting the best ink or using the best combination so that people don't have that issue? So I was a little annoyed about that. Hopefully they correct that because that was not cool at all. I had to do a lot of just like correction and I used like my acrylic markers to fix it, which is, oh no, that was not the marker that I wanted to use. Oh well. It's under the table, so it's going to be a little bit darker anyway. All right, so let's start with the tree. So let's start with this section here and we will work from there. But for the tree, let's see. I have E49 and one sec guys, because I pulled out the markers, but we need a little bit more organization here. 47. All right, I'm going to start with E47 and then we'll work our way up. So hey guys, how are you today? Hope all is well. Today we're coloring. If you're just joining in, if you skipped to this point in the video, today we're doing the Sunshine. What is it called again? This is a brand new book by Bobbie Goods. And here it is. It's a sunshine coloring and drawing. I linked the name. I linked my Amazon affiliate link. So if you click on it, you'll be able to see that that's like one of the first books that's listed. I just added it. This is a brand new book. It was on pre-release for a while and they just released it yesterday was the first time that they were actually sending it out to people. Um so if you were interested in getting something like that, this is like this one, their postcard books, and then they have another one that's similar to this one that they sell on Amazon. And they have their like super cute things book, which I feel like, I don't know, for me, I'm always, as an adult artist, I'm always looking for pieces that are like this, right? Like I don't need to know like how to draw. Those are more for like kids. I feel like, I mean, adults can do them too, because if you don't know how to draw at all, then it gives you some instruction on how to do it. But for me, it's just like, oh, Bobbie Goods is super cute. They have, these big designs that I can color in and make my own. That's what I look forward to as an adult artist. I look for creativity. I don't look for their, stuff that's mainly advertised for kids. But anyway, this book, they have like, I think it's like 5 to 10 sheets that you can draw in, which isn't a lot compared to other books that are a little bit cheaper or less, cost less on the market. But Bobby Goods is just like they're in their own league, guys. Like their illustrations are so cute and they're unbeatable, and I feel like that's why they price their stuff the way they do. And that's, it is what it is. If you want it, you're gonna get it. But this is what we have so far. We're working our way in. So next we're going to do the table. I'm gonna do the table the same color. Later on, we'll do some shading, of course, to like make things stand out. But let's start on the table. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Once again, all of the items that I use are linked in my description through my curation ideas board in Amazon. I do earn a small commission at no additional cost to you, so just keep that in mind. But I do have all of like the items that I use. Right now I'm just using, of course, the book and the markers, which are both listed on Amazon. Well, this is actually a few sets of markers. So I have their pastel, also their skin tone like collection, and then their 48 like just like general markers, which are, I believe they're their B markers. They're Honolulu B. I'm gonna have to make like a little like sheet where I can just show you guys so you know exactly which ones I'm using, but they are links, so if you guys go to my ideas board. I wonder what that is. Is that a part of the table? I don't know if I like that. Why is that there? Because it's not on that side. That's weird. It almost makes me feel like, I don't know. I don't want to say something I'll take back later, but why is that there? That's bothering me. We'll come back to it. So I'm just going to save this marker back here. All right, so now we can get started on some small details. So we can get started on these little flowers here. Let's do like a soft color. So I'm gonna do YR02 Peach Silk. And I don't know if I mentioned which one. Yeah, I think I did though. E47 for the trees and the table. Oh. All right, so I'm gonna go back in with, actually I'm gonna do the leaves for the flowers, the 410. I filled these in way too early, but there we go. I'm doing the stems the same color, so G410. We're getting somewhere, guys. We're almost done filling everything in so that we can start doing our shadows and our interesting details. All right, let me do the detail here on the apple. What else? The watermelon. The lettuce. What else? I think that's good for now. All right, I'm gonna do all of the bears like one color, but I'm gonna try to give them different, like a different style for each of them. So E49 and E47 are going to be the two colors that I use. Okay, so for E47, let's see. E47 is going to be the lighter color, and I believe that we use the E47 for the table and the trees, but the difference is we're going to make these a lot darker later on, and these are going to stay like this color. I was also considering maybe doing the dogs like different colors or the characters different colors, but I was like, you know what? No, because I wanted to sort of be like they're all like the same like family or something. I don't know. It's my 69. I forgot that lettuce on that sandwich. We'll come back to that. I always do that. I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot that leaf over there, or I forgot that. And it sucks whenever you don't like write down or you don't. I never write down the markers that I use. So I just try to go in. And you know, with alcohol markers, you can't just like draw on a sheet of paper and instantly you know what color that is. You have to sort of wait for it to dry. All right. I'm gonna do like a Y69. It's called milk tea. And I'm going to do like the area around his mouth this color. And I'm gonna go in with my blender. Oh, that's not what I was supposed to use, but it is what it is. This one's like slightly darker because this color is the same as a tree. This one is slightly different. We're using the E49 right now. All right, we're going to do E47. So the same color that we used for him, we're going to use for him. You know what? I'm gonna do spots for him. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Going in with my blender. Always forget my blender. All right, guys. So they are, well, let me fix the ear here. They're pretty much filled in. So next we're going to do, oh, forgot his feet or her feet. There I go forgetting again. Let's look. I think we're good. All right. Next, before I forget, let me do the green for the lettuce. I believe I did 310. I hope. I believe it's 310. We'll see when it dries. All right, if not, I'll go over the other ones with, well, this one with it. All right, next we're going to do the little like bandana thingy that she has on her head. I might give her some lashes. I know some people hate that, but she might get some lashes today. But I'm going to go in with red. And I'm going to do the spots outside of the flowers. This is going to be R014. Ah, guys, I went into the line. Why'd I do that? Just gonna go in with my blender and hopefully we can fix this. Go back in with my milk tea. All right, finish the bandana. I'm gonna do the same to the rest of the body since we have like that blender thing going here, and I'll try to give him fur later on. So all of them sort of are the same color, but they're all different, so we'll see. I feel like we need to do something with the trees because anyone that's joining in is probably like, why is everything the same color? So let's jump right in and start working on the trees. Let's start lining it with the YR313. So this is going to start giving it some dimension. and start like lightly going up and down with lines, some squiggles. Giving the tree some shadow, so shadow under the leaves. All right, I'm gonna go in with my darker marker now, which is going to be the E612. And again, I'm going to just line different areas of the tree with the brush. All right, guys, we are getting there. I think it's not looking too bad. We do need to fix this little character here. So I'm going to start with giving her some like shading. So I'm going to give her some shadows. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm going to go in with the E49, continue the shadows that I have going on. This one's slightly darker, so just helping them out a little bit. I'm going to go back in with the red here. There we go. I'm going to line the flowers with the red too, just leaving like the inside white. Going to make the inside of their noses dark brown. All right, and next what we're going to do is we're going to start coloring in the bowls. So I'm going to do the bowls blue. I just want a pop of color. So let's start with the bowls. I thought I pulled my blues out. I guess I didn't. All right, so let's see. BV38. And then I'm going to do BG14. All right, so it's going to be like a sky blue color. So BV38, we're going to start with the inside of the bowl, and then we'll do our shadows with the darker blue. All right, we'll allow that to dry. I'm gonna also do the cup blue. This full blue. Once again, this is BV38. Also, I'm gonna do the picture, this blue too. All right, guys, let's use our blender for our tiny little mistake. Let's go in with, while that dries, before I start adding my shading, I'm gonna go in with the red for the watermelons, of course. Go from there. All right, let's do whatever this is down here. That might have been lemons, actually. Oh well. It's going to be a red fruit today. That was definitely lemons because they brought lemons to make lemonade. Wow. It's whatever we want it to be, honestly. I am going to act like this is orange juice though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, I'm going to use salmon orange for the slices. And for the juice, I'm going to do, I feel like we can do the same color for the juice and then work on like highlights and making it stand out a different way later. but I don't want to use too many colors because that will look odd. I sort of line the ice cubes on the left side to just like make them stand out. And then I'm going to do this spill, same color. These are, of course, tortilla chips. So I'm going to do the tortilla chips like let's see. Like a sand color, maybe cream. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm looking at my sheets right now. This is how I work, guys. I'm like, I look at the sheet, I'm like, okay, what would that be in real life? And then I try to connect it. You know, sometimes I do something slightly different. Um, but I feel like it can be the same color as this, or that's probably a little bit too boring. I want something that resembles more of a tortilla chip though. So I might do raw cashew, which is pretty close, honestly. YR06. Raw cashew. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I feel like this is a pretty good color for the chips. And then the bread, I don't like this color for the bread. The bread, I might use the same color that I used for the inside of that character, which was peach silk, I believe. So YR02. And then I'll line it later on to like make it stand out. Okay, next we're going to do the plates. So the plate, I feel like a YG10 would be really good. Let's see if I can find it. YG10, YG10. That's like a really, really creamy, like it's almost like a white color. It's called porcelain. And of course, it would be the hardest color to find because I never use it. Oh, actually, here it is. Okay. So yeah, I feel like this would be a good color for the plates because it's simple. It's not doing too much. There are certain things that you can go crazy. You can go all out and color them, you know, different things. But I feel like stuff like that, you can just sort of keep it pretty simple. Um, Forgot to color this in here. There we go. And then I also forgot the grass. There we go. All right, guys, next we're going to do the bag. So the bag is going to be like I think the same color as these sandwiches, and then we're going to of course, like do the highlights and things like that after. And then for the bin or the basket, I'm going to do two darker colors. So Y313, the two colors that I use for the tree. So I'm gonna start with the lighter one, which is the YR313, and then I'll do the like the highlights and stuff with the darker one. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm going to come back to that. I forgot an apple up here, guys. So let's fix our little apple. We're getting there, guys. I'm so excited to see that we are actually getting somewhere. This is really bothering me and I really want to fix it. But at the same time, it's like getting rid of the sign. I don't think I have an acrylic marker that will cover that line. Let me see, I have my oh, my Ardex markers. So let me see. Guys, that might actually work. All right, let's try it. It worked. Okay, so we'll revisit that in a moment. I might extend his leg. That's what I'll do. I'm gonna extend his leg. And I'm going to work on the grass. So I'm gonna try to use hopefully the same green. I wasn't prepared for that because I didn't think that they would do me like this. Like, what is that right there? That's not on this side, and that's just like really going to bother me. So I got to cover it up. Let's see. Because this is the only like a hoo-hoo color that is close. Well, actually, this one's pretty close too. So let's test them out and see which one is the closest. So not that one. Too light. This one's probably the closest one right now. This one's definitely darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this one and I'm going to use this one to do details throughout whenever I'm doing the grass. That's what we will do. All right, for the rest of his body, I'm going to, oh, wrong one, E49. Okay, we'll work on that a little bit later. But for now, we sort of have it in a way corrected or covered up. Do you guys ever do that? Use your acrylic markers to cover up the original lines? I've been doing that a lot more lately. I feel like it's pretty risque because it's like you're sort of altering their work, but I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm gonna allow that to dry and then I'll go in with my alcohol marker to fix that. But next I'm going to use my yellow, so my darkest yellow Y111, and I'm going to color in the happy face. We're almost done covering everything up, guys. Next, I'm gonna do like a checkered design. So I'm gonna bring in some red here. Not too bad. I'm gonna do a green here because these look like some leaves. Going to do the salmon orange over here. So at least it looks like we brought an orange. I colored those lemons red. All right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to start working on the grass. So let's start building on the grass. I'm going to start pulling out my greens. We did use, not that one. We used our Ardex green. And we will be using it again just to sort of, well, actually, we used our Ahuhu green. That's what we did. So I'm going to use it to highlight the grass as well. But the greens that we're going to be using are these. So for the grass, we use G49 as the base. We're going to go in and do G310 to make it a little bit darker. Same for 410, and then the last but not least, the G315. So I'm dotting from corners up, from the edge up, and I'm sort of separating the dots as I get closer to the top. Right, so that's one. Guys, those lemons are really bothering me, so I might go in with my acrylic marker to like correct them with my yellow acrylic marker because I don't know. They don't look like any fruit that I know that would be red. So I feel like when you see those lemons, you're thinking those are supposed to be yellow, you know? So I will do that later on when we get to the end if I have some time. But next we're going to go in with our G410. We're going to do the same thing. Last but not least, our G315, and this is going to be the darkest ones. I'd be a little bit more careful with the darker. And instead of just dots, I'm gonna try to do little lines as well. All right, next we're going to move into the ground. So I'm going to do the 310 for the ground. And I'm just going to start doing lots of lines for the grass. And actually, I'm going to go in and fill this part in. Well, wrong color. Fill this little section in here. Oh, oh no. That's what happens when you don't let stuff dry. I got some of the green from here down here. So what are we gonna do? We're going to correct it. I'm gonna make these orange or like peach with the Ahuhu Y03. This is our acrylic markers. All right, guys, we're going back in with our marker here. Just still doing like little leaves of grass. One sec, guys. All right. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna go in right here and I'm going to continue to work on this character, just like on shadows with this brown that I use to sort of correct. I don't know if I love or hate this marker. It's just like a strange brown. I don't know, I guess it's making them all like look somewhat different, so I'm not 100% mad at it, but I don't know, I probably won't use this marker in the future for this like purpose. All right, guys, let's do the table. So for the table, I'm going to do the YR313. Just going back and forth. All right, next we're going to move into the darker brown, which is going to be the E612. We're just basically lining the table, so the edges and the bottom. All right, guys, so that's pretty good for now. Let's start doing some shadows on this character here. So, let's see. I believe I did the E49 on him. So now we're going to use the E66, YE66. If I can find it, that is. This one's going to be light fawn. Right, I feel like that's pretty good. We can use this color as well for this character to just do some light shadows. All right, I'm gonna go in because I didn't do the darker brown on the tree here, so I'm gonna go in and just sort of color that in. There we go. Guys, we're getting somewhere. All right, so for the bag, I feel like the shadows that we need can be like E49, so just sticking to like the same numbers. Can do like a shadow going into that direction there. Can use our blender to give it like some wrinkles. All right, so for the ground, we can use a G410 to start giving some shadows on the grass. And then the grass here, we can actually do like a shadow for the whole table. We can go back in with what color did we just use for this, for the shadows here? Because I have to do the feet. I forgot about his feet. So let's go back in with the light fawn. And I feel like we can use the light fawn to give the chips shadows as well. So just lining the chips. All right, guys. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we're filling in everything that we've missed. So just gonna go in and make sure that everything is filled in, and then we'll continue to do the shadows. So we still have to do the mountains, of course. I feel like we've colored everything in so far. I feel like now it's about just like the details. So I'm gonna start with the mountains. So doing like circular and then working my way up with dots, of course, separating them as it goes higher. Same for here. So starting with just lining it, working in circles, and then dotting all the way up. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our darker green and do the same thing, but we're going to be a little bit more careful now with our dots. So close together, and then we're going to separate them as we get closer to the top. I'm going to go back in with my G410 and sort of do circles and smooth it out. All right, so we're done with like the mountains. Guys, we're seeing some improvement. We're seeing some dimension. I'm so excited. All right, so let's work on the tree. So that's something that we haven't touched yet. We still have to work on the sandwiches because I want to give those some shadows as well. But with the tree, same, we're going to line, well, actually, we'll work from the inside out and then we'll leave like the outer part, like the lighter green, because I do want to make sure to have some like some light coming from the sun and hitting things. And I might actually line with like an acrylic yellow marker like at the end, but we'll see. But basically lining from the inside out. So working from circular motions and then dotting all the way out. All right, same for this tree. So starting off with like our lines towards the inside, circular motions, and then dotting our way to the outside. Coming back and once again dotting this tree. And what I'm going to do is, because I use this acrylic marker, it's going to keep bothering me if I don't use it down here as well. So I'm going to start. Oh, that's not good. Wasn't supposed to do it there, but it's okay. I'm going to turn it because I don't want to hit the acrylic that I just put down. But I'm going to dot it up here as well. It's not looking too bad, guys. All right, I do want to give them some cheeks, some pink cheeks. So I'm gonna use just like a color pencil. Oh, there I go. Doing what I just said I wasn't going to do. This is a very, like, I don't really like this color pencil because you really have to go in with it like really hard for it to actually show. But I did give them some rosy cheeks, which matches the sky, I feel like. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Everything is linked in my description. I do earn a small commissions and no additional cost to you. Just working back in on the grass. All right, So far everything looks really good, guys. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to start lining stuff with my white marker. So I'm going to take my, not my white marker, I might use this white marker, we'll see. But with my gel pen. And actually, today I'm going to try something new. I haven't used this Pushka pen, but I'm really annoyed with this jelly roll because I feel like I'm always fighting with it to get the color out, and it never comes out like all the way. So before I use this, I'm first going to fix my border because that is something that's bothering me. And I basically just take my acrylic marker and I just go around the border so that it's cleaned up a little bit wherever the ink like bled like through the border. So I'm just covering it. And this is probably going to take like 2 or 3 layers for it to be covered completely. So I basically go through, I line it, and then I wait for it to dry and I'll go back in and I'll do it again. So just gonna do the first layer now and then we'll revisit it like later on. And guys, I'm not done with the tree yet. I feel like I still need like a darker color to make it look a little bit better. This is the same color that I'm going in with, but just doing a few more dots. All right, going in with my black pen. This is just a pen. It's also linked in my storefront. It's a set of pens and they're very affordable. So this is good for just like detail going over if you use an acrylic marker going over so that you can like detail things back that you probably removed as you were using your acrylic marker. So I use this pretty often. Definitely something that I would recommend having. And like I said, they're so affordable. This is like if you're getting an essentials bundle, this is one of the things that I would definitely get. All right, so next we're going to, instead of our jelly roll pen, we're going to use our Pashka marker. And we're going to use this to basically create our like lines in detail. So much better, guys. 1000% better than that jelly roll pen. And I still love the pens, but I just feel like sometimes you're just fighting to get the ink out of them, and I have to have like a sheet on the side to basically get them to work, which is not cool. My Pashka markers are also linked. They actually come in a set of like, I think it's like 10 or 12. And you get so many colors. I feel like they're so worth it because you just have a lot of options, whenever you're coloring and you may want to use like a black acrylic marker. It just has a lot of great options. Now, the only thing I will say is like compared to like the way the jelly roll pens dry, I feel like they're so hyped and I feel like everyone uses them because what the way they dry, it's like white. Like with these, you have to like go over like 1 or 2 times to basically get like that white like on the sheet. You see how these dry, it's like a faded white, like an off-white, instead of just like a white white. That's probably the reason why they're so popular, you know? That's just like, that's so funny. Wow. I forgot about the bread, guys. Let's fix the bread. There we go. I forgot about the bowls too, guys. All right, so we wanted to do the BG114. So I'm going to start from the bottom. Just basically line it. The inside of the glass, the inside of the pitcher. I'm going to go back in with the original blue. Same for this bowl. And I'm going for like a cartoony vibe, so that's why I'm like lining everything. No specific direction because as you guys can see, the sun is back here, so it wouldn't make sense for there to be like a light, you know, illumination on this side here. So I'm just lining everything so that it basically pops. Not everything, but a lot of it. I'm gonna come back to those because I want to fix them. I do not like the red down there. Messed up in the back. All right, guys. So now we are going to basically finish up. I am going to, oh, there I go again. I am going to fix the lemons because I keep saying this, but they're irritating me because they are not supposed to be red. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to do them this color. This is going to be the Y53. I don't know if I should do them this color or this color. I feel like we have more of this color, like in the sun and the sky, so I'll keep it this color. I'm gonna wait until they dry and then I'll do another layer. I'm gonna do some black dots in the bush here. dotting the flowers as well. All right, I'm gonna do one more layer now. Not too bad, guys. They're not yellow, but they're definitely not red. So we are about done. I'm going to allow this to dry a little bit more and then I'm going to dot them. As I'm waiting, I'm basically going to look and see if I see anything else that I need to fix. I don't really like the white lines on this right here, but it is what it is. Overall, I think it looks like it stands out. I feel like it's really colorful. Oh, I guess my phone moved. But anyway, I'm not too mad with how it turned out. I feel like I was looking to do something bright and beautiful, and I feel like this is a good introduction to the book because this is the first page that I'm doing. So I'm going to do a few more pages like in the near future, but overall, like my first impression of this book is amazing. It's amazing. I feel like I didn't run into the same issues of what I was having with their like big books that I got on their website, which is great because I was really hoping that I wouldn't have the same problems. You know what? I don't like those lines there. I'm gonna cover them up, a few of them up. But yeah, I wasn't having like the same issues. Like I mentioned, if you guys were here earlier, I was having issues with like whenever I was doing the lines or whenever I was using my markers, I feel like the lines that they have like on the characters would bleed into the rest of the piece that I was doing, which is weird because it's like that's never happened to me, even with like cheaper books. That had never happened to me. That's with their big book. So that's not one that they sell on Amazon. The ones that they sell on Amazon, like their postcards and like their books like this one, they've all been great. They use great quality paper and they also like whatever they use to print it, it comes out pretty good. And it's fun to draw on. I did mention that I was going to basically do another layer of like the acrylic around the piece just to erase my mistakes because I'm not perfect. What do you guys think? I'm gonna fix that there. There we go. I'm gonna go back in with my Pachka marker. So much better. And then up here, I'm really bothered by this part. So I'm gonna go over with my acrylic marker, just like that. And I'm going to go back over with my Pashka, but I'm gonna try to be a little bit more careful. It's a lot better. How easy it is, like how easy is it to correct? As you guys can see, it's very easy as long as you have the right tools. So even right here, not too happy with that. So I'm just going over with my Artex acrylic marker. You can see everything is linked in my Amazon storefront. So there's actually a link that I added to the description. You can go in and see all of the items, the materials that I use to, create this today. I might make like a specific board, specifically like a specific board for this piece that I use. So the Artex, the Pashka, the Yahoo markers, the book that I used, everything was amazing. And I'm so happy with it, guys. I would highly, highly, highly recommend everything that I used today. I love Bobbie goods. They're amazing. They've always been great quality, and I would highly recommend them if you guys are on the market looking to invest in a new coloring book. This is their brand new book that was released yesterday. It is available. It's on the market. It has like I think like 5 to 10 sheets that you can color. So you have a good variety and it's fast and simple shipping as opposed to going to their website and waiting 2, 3 weeks to get their book. This is going to be the best way to get it. So I love it. I would highly recommend it. I hope that you guys were able to enjoy. I hope that you were able to get some inspiration today. And we'll see you guys on the next live stream. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.